वक्फे-नौ के फरजाने आए हैं दुनिया महकाने.
31 years ago, the Caliph of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community launched a scheme unlike any man had seen before. En masse, he enlisted thousands of unborn children to an army that would bring spiritual revolution to the world.
मैंने बाहर निकल के ये कहा कि बेटा अब तुम्हारा और मेरा ताल्लुक बिल्कुल ख़त्म हो गया. अब मैंने जमात के हवाले कर दिया.
Hazur gives a very special attention to these children, and he continues to guide them in every way.
There's not a single moment I would say that I could, if I could go back and choose not to be a Waqf, then I'd really think that I'm one of the unfortunate ones.
Now, on the conclusion of this year's National Ijtemas, MTA News looks back over 3 decades and tells the astonishing story of the Waqf-e-Nau scheme.
सीनों में नूर खुदा लेकर
قالت امرأة عمران رب إني نذرت لك ما في بطني محررا فتقبل مني إنك أنت السميع العليم.
In 1987, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community was only 2 years from entering its second century. Even as Pakistan's dictator Zia-ul-Haq promised to ruthlessly wipe out Ahmadiyyat, Hazrat Mirza Tahir Ahmad rahimahullah was already foretelling a rapid global expansion of his community's peaceful mission. So he launched the Waqf-e-Nau scheme, which saw Ahmadi Muslim parents dedicate their unborn children to the service of Islam.
We need people in future specially trained in some sciences and arts, etc. Now, they can be utilized both through becoming regular Jamia students, or they can be utilized in their own professions elsewhere in the world, because now the Jamaat's work is spreading and we need engineers and doctors and this and that who would serve the cause of the Jamaat but within their own professions. So I have given freedom to all children and parents so far to go by the talents of the children and their own inclinations.
With the launch of the scheme, the Caliph appointed a young doctor in London to volunteer in an administrative capacity, and he was witness to the miracles that followed.
Many parents, they wrote to Hazur that they had no child for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years of life, of married life, and when they decided to act on Hazur's advice and dedicate their future child, God blessed them with the children.
Today, you are all gathered here for the National Waqf-e-Nau Ijtema, and some of you may wonder why we hold these events each year. The reason is to remind all of you, the members of Waqf-e-Nau, about the importance of your responsibilities, and to train and guide you about how to discharge these duties.
Now, the eldest Waqifeen had reached maturity and began to report to the Caliph.
He came to my wedding and he said to me, what are you doing? And I explained to him that I was Waqf-e-Nau and I just graduated. And he said to me, you need to come and see me in my office. And at that point, after the wedding, when we went to see him, he said, he asked me, again, what I was doing and what my intentions were. And at that point, I said, yes, I was Waqf-e-Nau and I definitely would like to carry my Waqf on. And he then asked me to send in my biodata and write everything down, what I'd done, what I was, doing at that time. And it was at that point I got a call from the Bashir a couple of weeks later saying that, we've got your information, please come and see us. And I went and saw the Bashir department, Majid Tahir Saab. And again, he asked me what my interests were. and he mentioned that Hazur would like you to go into MTA. I mean, when you're a Waqf-e-Zindagi, the most amazing thing about it is that you're working under the direct supervision of Khalifa Waqt. And it's him that you report to, it's him that advises you what to do, what not to do, and you have a special bond with him.
2012 brought a new challenge for the Waqf-e-Nau department.
Huzur ordered the department to print a magazine for all those Waqf-e-Nau boys and a magazine for Waqf-e-Nau girls. So Huzur himself suggested the names for those magazines. For Waqf-e-Nau, Huzur suggested that the magazine would be started as with the name of Ismail, and for Waqf-e-Nau, the magazine name was given by Huzur is Maryam.
But in 2012, he asked me to start this magazine, and I was a bit panicked, I must say, and I had fears that I will not be able to do this, because Huzur also advised that this has to be done within a month's time. The contents actually have to be finished by then we can start the printing process and everything. And I went to Huzur, and I was scared and that I will not be able to do so, but Huzur said that everything will be done inshallah, and he prayed a lot. I felt very much at ease, because I had no idea so far about anything about preparing files or writing or anything, but Huzur constantly guidance and prayers, I did manage to serve in this context. Otherwise, I will say that I wouldn't have been able to do so.
By 2017, the small Waqf-e-Nau classes Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah be his helper, established years earlier, had grown to an international scale. During the Caliph's tours, numerous overseas versions were held, while the UK edition expanded enormously. Today, the eldest Waqifeen are successfully working under the guidance of their Caliph, but the next generation's preparation has already begun.
Alhamdulillah, I have 3 children, and all of them are part of this blessed scheme, and I wouldn't have it in another way. I didn't want them to miss out on a blessing that I was part of. And yes, they'll have their own decision when they grow up. Every Waqf has that decision to make at the age of 16, 18. But right now, for me, it's something that I cannot imagine not putting them in. Or, with my experience especially, I definitely want them to be in this scheme, yeah.
May Allah grant you all the ability to fulfill that sacred pledge and bond that was first made by your parents prior to your birth, and which you have since renewed. And the younger children, Waqf-e-Nau, will inshallah will renew. May all of you fulfill your duties and be amongst those who bring about a true and everlasting spiritual revolution in the world. Ameen.